Was it madness or a terrifying glimpse into a world beyond our comprehension? Did the scent of damp earth and something ancient, something wrong, cling to the air as a hermit's life bled away, not from age but from a single, horrifying draught? Let's start with the body. A man drained, utterly emptied, a husk within a week of a single brutal act. Not a fever, not disease, but something extracted. The details, whispered in hushed tones, spoke of a demon, a leech of the soul, and a semen so potent it could extinguish a life. A single night, a single monstrous indulgence, and a man's existence simply ceased. I've seen the place. A crumbling chapel swallowed by a forest that presses close, a palpable sense of unease radiating from the stones. The local villagers, wary, superstitious, pointed to the overgrown path, the unnatural stillness of the surrounding trees. They spoke of a shadow man, a chilling presence that lingered near the ruins, a testament to a darkness that refused to be buried, and they weren't lying. The air itself felt thick, heavy with something unspoken, something profoundly disturbing. Then there was the monk, aged and etched with a lifetime of contemplation, his eyes holding a haunted knowledge. He recounted a tale of a woman, perpetually besieged, a victim of a demonic assault. Not a single incident, but a relentless, agonizing cycle of violation, a torment that drove her to the brink of sanity and ultimately to a horrifying, irreversible transformation. A woman, he insisted, who became a cat, a bird. A shifting, grotesque imitation of the natural world, a chilling reminder of the demon's capacity to warp and corrupt the very essence of being. But it wasn't just physical horrors. It began with the dreams. A swirling vortex of images, impossible landscapes, and unsettling encounters. Aristotle, in his dusty, forgotten book, Sleeping and Waking, theorized about the disruption of the humors, the body's vital fluids during sleep, how this could lead to hallucinations so vivid, so convincing, they felt utterly real. I've experienced it myself. Not grand visions of palaces or walnut trees, but fragments, unsettling echoes of places I'd never been, faces I'd never seen, a constant, nagging sense of displacement. A feeling of being elsewhere, trapped within the labyrinth of my own mind. One night it was a palace, opulent and terrifying, filled with shadowed corridors and unsettling portraits. The next I was scrambling under a walnut tree, the damp earth clinging to my skin, the air thick with the scent of decay. The details were meticulous, unsettlingly precise. The feel of the stone, the weight of the air, the taste of the rain, all rendered with a clarity that defied logic. It wasn't imagination, it was invasion. A demonic intrusion into the most private recesses of the mind. And the transformations, the sheer audacity of it, cats, birds. The image of a woman dissolving into fur and feathers, transforming into a creature of instinct and shadow, is burned into my memory. The legend of St. Andrew, recounted in ancient texts, spoke of a similar ordeal, a complete metamorphosis, a terrifying surrender to the demon's will. Then there's the book, The City of God, detailing a bizarre, unsettling conversion to feline form. It's a recurring motif, a chilling demonstration of the demon's power to rewrite reality, to obliterate the boundaries between the human and the monstrous. But the nightmares weren't confined to the individual. The demon, it seemed, delighted in orchestrating chaos, in manipulating the very fabric of the world. Imagine, if you will, a storm brewing not from atmospheric pressure, but from the will of a malevolent entity. Hailstones driven by unseen hands pummeling the earth. Winds howling with a demonic intent, tearing through villages. Job in the Bible described a fire falling from the sky, consuming his flocks. A wind, a furious, destructive force, obliterating his son's home. The parallels are undeniable. The demon wasn't simply tormenting individuals, it was actively shaping the world, twisting it to its own dark design. And the victims, they weren't passive observers. They were instruments, puppets in a grotesque performance. Witches compelled to serve the demon's dark purposes, transporting themselves across vast distances, appearing in unexpected locations, sowing discord and destruction. A woman snatched from her bed and carried through the rooftops, appearing in the houses of her enemies, inflicting wounds, draining blood, a chilling spectacle of power and control. The ointments, the sticks, the amulets, they were a smokescreen, a desperate attempt to cling to a semblance of control. Inquisitors, with a grim efficiency, shaved the hairy parts of arrested witches, dismissing these superstitious rituals as mere distractions. The ointments, the sticks, they were nothing more than props in a demonic play. The true source of the movement was far more sinister, far more profound. It lay in a pact, a dark agreement forged between a human and a demon, a bond of mutual corruption. Then there were the interrogations. The torture, the relentless questioning, the desperate attempts to break the will of the accused. Amulets hidden under nails, in mouths, in ears, under hair, they offered no protection. The demon, it seemed, was immune to earthly restraints. It operated on a different plane, a realm of shadows and whispers, impervious to the logic of the physical world. But the most disturbing aspect of this demonic theater was its reach. It wasn't confined to isolated incidents or localized outbreaks of madness. The Council of Aquileia, a gathering of religious scholars, debated the very nature of demonic influence, exploring the extent to which demons could manipulate human thought and behavior. The legend of Saint Andrew, recounted in The City of God, offered a chilling glimpse into the possibility of complete transformation, of being subsumed entirely by the demonic will. The very notion is horrifying. And the common folk, the villagers, the townsfolk, they believed, they knew. They spoke of the shadow man, the chilling presence that lingered near the ruins. They recounted tales of disappearances, of unexplained illnesses, of sudden, inexplicable storms. They weren't delusional. They were witnessing the effects of a dark force, a force that defied rational explanation. The accounts of Jean Vincent, a prior of Les Moustiers-en-Laye, offered a particularly unsettling perspective. He described workers of harmful magic, imprisoned demons within rings, consulting them for future events, achieving their ambitions through demonic counsel. He recounted tales of transformations of women becoming mice, of storms conjured by whispered incantations. He spoke of sabbats, gatherings of witches and demons, where unimaginable horrors unfolded. The word Sabbat itself, he noted, derived from the Latin Sabbath, a day of rest and worship, a chilling irony, given the true nature of these gatherings. Then there's Michael Behaim, a weaver and a singer, who documented the bizarre practices of his community, the ability to control the weather, to travel vast distances through the air, to manipulate reality with magical ointments and incantations. His chronicles, filled with unsettling details, offered a tangible illustration of the demon's influence, a testament to the power of belief, however misguided. And what of Ambrosio de Vignate, a canon lawyer who meticulously dissected the accusations against witches, weighing evidence from scripture, philosophy, and legal precedent? He questioned the possibility of transformations, the validity of confessions, the effectiveness of torture. He concluded that while some claims were impossible, others were consistent with the facts, suggesting that demonic influence was a real and terrifying force. But the most unsettling revelation came from the inquisitors themselves. They shaved the hairy parts of arrested witches, dismissing the ointments and sticks as mere superstitions. They recognized that the true source of the movement lay in a pact, a dark agreement forged between a human and a demon. The amulets, the ointments, they were nothing more than props in a demonic play. The faith, it seems, was in peril. Those who believed in the possibility of transformation, who embraced the notion of witches traveling through the air with ointments and sticks, risked being cast out of the faith. Those who dismissed the claims as mere fantasy, as the product of imagination or delusion, were considered ignorant. The Council of Aquileia, in its wisdom, sought to strike a balance, acknowledging the power of the demon while denying its capacity to genuinely control human actions. So, what is to be believed? What is the truth behind these chilling accounts? Is it madness? Or a terrifying glimpse into a world beyond our comprehension? The evidence as presented is undeniably disturbing. The accounts of physical transformations, of demonic possession, of supernatural phenomena, they defy rational explanation. Yet the accounts are consistent, repeated across centuries and cultures. They speak of a dark force, a malevolent entity capable of manipulating human thought and behavior, of twisting reality to its own dark design. Perhaps the most unsettling conclusion is that the line between reality and illusion is far more blurred than we might imagine. Perhaps the demons aren't lurking in some distant realm but residing within our own minds, whispering temptations, exploiting our fears, and shaping our perceptions. And finally, a question that lingers in the shadows. If demons exist, if they possess such power, what is our place in the grand scheme of things? Are we merely puppets in a cosmic drama, our lives dictated by forces beyond our control? Or do we retain a measure of agency, a capacity to resist the darkness, to forge our own destiny? Is it a question we can even answer? Or are we destined to remain forever trapped within the labyrinth of our own minds, haunted by the echoes of a terrifying reality?